afternoon. I'm Julie Youngquist, and this is A. Allen. You are on with Streetwise Live for the next 25 minutes on CAN TV Channel 21. We're also streaming live on cantv.org/hotline. You can also join the conversation by calling 312-738-1060, the number that's on your screen. Today we'll be talking about a few different things. We'll be talking with Alan about what it means to be a Streetwise vendor and the role that Streetwise vendors play with both vendors and customers in giving our vendors a hand up. We'll also be talking with a guest, Sara about our wellness programming, and then talking about our current issue right now, the taste of Chicago. But we're going to start our conversation today with a video. Give a little taste of what it's like to be a vendor. It's called What Do You See?
When you see me in the street, what do you see? Do you see someone who rises before the sun every morning to catch the L at 95th and the Dan Ryan, headed towards the Ogilvy station to get the train to Glencoe, just in time for the morning rush? Do you see the long day ahead of me, my struggles, what I go through? Standing in the rain, under the sun, against the wind, or covered with snow. Many hours filled with rejection. Do you see my hand stretched out with a magazine, which I bought for 90 cents and sold to you for $2? When you see me on the street, what do you see? Do you see my smile that greets you? Hoping to demonstrate what I've learned about selling from mentors who believe in my potential. Do you see my confidence strengthen from having access to food, shelter, and clothing, restoring my dignity and self-respect? Do you see my dream for a new journey? An opportunity for transitioning to a career where I can learn new skills and grow? Can you imagine what would happen if you took a chance and hired me? I know you will feel my gratitude. And I know you feel my hope that more people will get the same care and respect that I found at Streetwise, that showed me the way to this place and this moment, so you can see me and know me and believe in what I can become.
I love that video.
I do too. So nice.
So what I really love about it is that when you see a Streetwise vendor, that you know that behind each and every one is a community of support. For those of you who don't know, Streetwise is a weekly publication that gives our vendors, a hand up, not a handout. We've helped more than 12,000 in our 25-plus year history. Every vendor, including you, Mr. Allen, is part of the International Network of Street Papers. So you've got 9,000 co-vendors all over the world that are trying to do the same thing you are. We also have a jobs program that's getting people back to work, earning a paycheck. And we have a team of staff on hand to help people with barriers like getting IDs, applying for benefits, referrals for housing and medical. So we've got a lot going on there. So for more information, you can visit streetwise.org, which we'll pull up in a little bit. But right now, I can tell you everything you want to hear about being a vendor, but I can't tell it as well as you can. In the co-chair seat, A. Allen, Streetwise vendor, Streetwise field supervisor, and all-around Streetwise ambassador.
Oh, thank you.
Ready to chat?
You so much. Yes.
Awesome. All right, Alan, how did you first get involved with Streetwise?
Well, for me, Streetwise was like the last house on the block, right? Because I had tried to get other jobs, and what happened was because of my criminal background, I was rejected, okay, from jobs. I even had the job. I had the job, and my criminal background came back, and they said, well, unfortunately, we have to let you go, okay? So, for me, the reason why I say it was the last house on the block is because I was like, you done tried everything else, try Streetwise. Give Streetwise a try. And so that I did, and I found out that it proven to be a stepping stone for me, you know. The stepping stone is, you know, you start out with a hand up, holding the magazine up, and not asking for a handout, you know, and so.
So you bring up something important about, you've got this magazine in your hand. Why is the magazine so important?
Well, the magazine, to me, in my opinion, the magazine is a real good quality product. It's very informative. As a matter of fact, before I became a vendor, I wasn't working, but some kind of way a Streetwise magazine came across my hands, and I picked it up and I read it, and I liked it. I liked what was in it. So when I see Streetwise vendors, before I became a vendor, I will buy a magazine every now and then because of the information that Streetwise provides. And it has the crosswords, the Sudoku, we have the Sportswise, we have the Eatwise, we have a lot of variety of information in Streetwise. So it's a real good magazine.
So as a vendor, is it important to you that your customers take the magazine?
To me, it's very important that the customer, because it helps me to keep account of what I'm selling. Okay, and then not only that, it motivates me to know that I'm getting I'm giving out some good information to people that can probably use it and probably be entertained from reading the magazine, or they can read the current events, or they can do the crossword puzzles, or they can do the Sudoku, so it can come in handy, especially if they don't read, pass it on to someone that do read. You can leave it in a taxi cab, you can leave it in the cafeteria, you can leave it in the office, you can leave it on the bus.
How do you feel if people don't take the magazine? They just say, well, I don't need it.
Okay, me personally, I don't take it. Some people take it offensive, but I don't take it offensive. I say, well, yeah, maybe you don't need the magazine, but someone else could use the information. So take the magazine and pass the information on, because we do have some good quality information. So I try to promote the magazine, try to influence people to take the magazine, whether they, you know, read it or not, you know, but just take the magazine, leave it somewhere where someone else can read it and get the good information that's inside.
So you're pretty passionate about the content in the magazine, and I know we hadn't talked about this before, but there's a group of vendors that get together at Streetwise every week, and what do you do in that group on usually Tuesdays?
Tuesdays, yeah, Tuesday at 11 o'clock we have a current event, like the current event today was on the Taste of Chicago, and we covered when the Taste of Chicago starts, and we covered some of the entertainment, but the basic reason for the current events is to know what's in the magazines. It's for the vendors that sell the magazines to come to the group and find out what's in the magazine, so therefore when they're selling the magazine they can let the customers know this is what's in the magazine, check it out, read it, okay? You know, they be somewhat informed on what they're selling, because when I first started selling the magazine, a customer asked me, what's in the magazine, and why should I buy it? And I politely told the customer, you know, I don't know, you have to buy it and read it, right? And so she told me, she said, well, why would I buy the magazine and read it if you haven't read it? Which to me made a lot of sense, right? You know, I felt so embarrassed for her to tell me that. And ever since then, I've been going to current events. So I know what's in the magazine. You know, and part of salesmanship is to know your product. You know, so it's a good thing that we do have current events, because current events it's a good thing, because people may not have good reading skills. You can develop your reading skills by coming to current events, because we read the magazine, you know, and then we discuss the magazine, you know, so it's a way of enhancing your salesmanship and knowing your product.
Great. So you've been a vendor for 5 years?
Going on, well, 6 going on 7.
6 going on 7. What are some of the stereotypes or misperceptions about Streetwise vendors have you encountered with customers or just people on the street who don't necessarily understand what you're trying to do?
Okay, so, well, one of the misconceptions that people have, and then we've been trying to turn that around, is that all Streetwise vendors are homeless. And that is not true, okay? We are not all homeless, and we are not like hungry, out there hungry, whereas, people want to bring you plates and say, here's something to eat. No, we are entrepreneurs, okay? And what we do is we take our money, we buy our papers, we invest within ourselves. We buy the papers and we resell the papers for a profit, okay? We buy the papers for 90 cents and we resell them for $2. That's $1.25 profit, but it's not just a profit because we get paid just like waiters, we get paid on tips, okay?
Okay.
A lot of customers, they like our personality, and they like our persistence, they like our endurance for being out there every day at the same time, at the same location. They like that. And so they tip us for that. They let us know that they appreciate us being there every day at the same time, at the same place. And so, it can be profitable. And it is a stepping stone to, like you said in the beginning, we do have a job program. So starting out with Streetwise is a great stepping stone for someone that's not doing nothing, sitting at home on the couch and don't have an income. You need to come down to Streetwise and get your wheels rolling. And let us help you find a good location, give you 15 free papers to start you out with, and give you some training and give you an ID to get you started.
We were going to end with this, but when should they come down?
On Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock. Tuesday and Thursday we do orientation at 10
Well, it
o'clock.
starts at 10, but you can always stop in early and have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So just a few more questions. How has being part of Streetwise helped you personally?
Personally, it helps enhance my communication skills, okay? Being out there talking to customers, communicating with customers have helped me tremendously because at first I really didn't want to socialize. I really didn't want to be open with people. I didn't want to be transparent with people. I was more like introvert, more like off to myself. And that's not a good way to be. So it brought out me being open with people, and being able to communicate with people.
Hard to believe you were introverted.
Yeah, I was. At one time, yes, I was. I was very quiet as a mouse.
Well, so you touched on this a little bit, but what have you learned, aside from the communication skills, what else have you learned by selling the magazines that helped you in your other areas of life, maybe with friends or co-workers or family or whatever?
Yeah, well, Streetwise have offered me the opportunity to do some writing. And not only verbal communication, but written communication. I write a little bit for Streetwise, and I really appreciate writing. At one point in my life, I hated writing. It's a lot of things that Streetwise have brought out in me that I didn't even know I had in me, such as writing and communicating, verbally and written communication.
Right.
So it has enhanced my life tremendously.
So just on the writing thing really quick, you just started a new kind of segment of the magazine.
Vendor's Corner.
Vendor's Corner? What is Vendor's Corner? Go ahead and plug it for a second.
Okay, yeah. Vendor's Corner is a section in the paper. It's usually the last page, and what it is, it's a section for the vendors to get involved in the paper, okay? I mean, if you have an event or something that's coming up, you can also put it in the Vendor's Corner. We also started doing vendors profile in the Vendor's Corner. But Vendor's Corner is to let the vendors know what's going on around Streetwise. In case you can't make the all vendors meeting, you can read the Vendor's Corner and keep updated on what's going on with Streetwise, because not only are we individual entrepreneurs, but we also a corporation like. We're a family like, and we do want to keep in contact. We do want everybody to know what's going on. So if you're a vendor out there and you're watching the program, please reach your Vendor's Corner so you can stay updated and keep informed on what's going on with the organization.
It's one of my favorite sections. You had mentioned you've had some newer responsibilities over your time at Streetwise. You're a field supervisor, which means you recruit and you train new vendors. What do you tell new vendors? Like, what are some of your words of wisdom that help them get started as these new entrepreneurs and head out with their magazines and try to make go of it?
Okay, one of the things I would like new vendors to know that, it's not so much as the magazine. The magazine is extra. That's what the customer get. The customer get a magazine extra after they get to know you. And that's what you want to do, is get out there and promote yourself and let customers get to know you, because a lot of times customers don't know what it is to be in the struggle of survival. Okay, the struggle of survival is the struggle of having to eat every day, having to have a place to sleep every night, you know, that's a struggle for a lot of us vendors, okay? But to get your wheels rolling and get the ball rolling, you know, you come to Streetwise and we provide food at the office every day, hot meals, okay? And then we have service to help you with housing and ID. So it's basically getting up off the ground, okay? And to get a new start. So Streetwise give you a new start. And I let customers know, you know, what you want to do is be happy, be positive, you know. Give your smile, give your $1 million smile, you know, that invite people to come in to ask you, truly, how are you doing, you know? And once they get to know you, then you can develop a relationship, okay? A relationship with the customer or with someone that you normally would not meet. Someone that you normally would not meet, and then when you get through talking, you get to know them, they get to know you, then you say, and I got a Streetwise for you. Here, this is for you, because I have found, which I have panhandled in my life, you know, and panhandling is rough. It's rough because for the simple fact, if you panhandling every day, at the same location, just like our vendors do, you know, and you looking at this person, you steady asking them for money every day. You asking them for some money, some of their money, hard-earned money, every day. You know, just because you out there and you feel like the world owe you something, so you're going to ask them every day, every day, every day. That wears out, you know? And eventually people be like, man, I'm tired of giving you my money every day, you know? So the thing for me is to recognize that, you know, you are somebody and you somebody and you can have dignity, you can have self-respect.
And you're part of something.
And you're a part of an organization,
yeah,
you know?
That's great.
And you have a good product to offer someone.
Well, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, come
Join
in.
the team.
Come in, get started, get your wheels rolling.
So we're going to share the Streetwise website, www.streetwise.org. A reminder, in case you forgot, that you are watching Streetwise Live on CAN TV, Channel 21. Alan is going to welcome our next guest. You ready?
Yeah.
Mr. Alan.
Yeah, we'd like to welcome Sara Gentris. Welcome, Sara. How you doing today?
Hi, Alan.
Welcome to Streetwise CAN TV.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good. Sara, you've been with Streetwise. We know your name, Sara. We'd like to know your role with Streetwise, Sara.
Well, I started coming to Streetwise a couple years ago. But that's after I've known Streetwise pretty much my whole life. I used to see it when we used to just be on the street, and it was a magazine I always really admired and I was a supporter of. Through very close relations, I ended up coming to Streetwise and volunteering. And I found that a role that I could play was to share some of the knowledge I had towards wellness and making vendors aware of some very easy ways to increase their abilities to be stronger, healthier, and in control of their health decisions. And so Streetwise has really blessed me and welcomed me in and allowed me to do that. And I know you're one of my you're one of my students, but you've been to every single class I've ever had.
Yes, and I really appreciate you coming and sharing the wellness information with us, because I think because of you, you know, Streetwise is growing in, and Streetwise have a lot of opportunities, and you add a lot to Streetwise with bringing wellness, because even if you use Streetwise as a stepping stone and you do become successful, you do become a successful entrepreneur in life in other areas, you know, because this right here for me is a training ground. Say you do become successful. If you become successful and you're not taking care of yourself, you know, what good is it, right? In my opinion, what good is it if you're not taking care of yourself? So I really want to personally thank you on TV for coming and sharing that information.
It's a pleasure.
You shared some things about water. You know, what is the importance of water? What is the importance of water in a person's life? You know, not just the splash water going out because it's hot and you get into the water, but
Sure. But the last 2 weeks we've been covering hydration. We've
Yeah.
had a heat wave here in Chicago, so we want to keep our vendors hydrated and healthy. So we went over class 2 weeks ago where we talked about the 6 main functions of hydration, right? So that's for absorption, digestion, circulation, transportation of nutrients in the body, helps create like our saliva in our body, and also keeps our temperature where we want it to be, right? So these are main functions of the body. We want to make sure that we're constantly restoring water into our body because we can't live without it. So when we're breathing and sweating and our digestive process, it takes water. So we want to make sure we're always putting it back.
okay,
Otherwise, something happens called dehydration.
okay,
Okay? So some of the signs of dehydration, by the way, is just when we're using more water than we're putting back in.
okay.
Okay? So sometimes our body gives us signs. Sometimes that's a dry mouth, or we might feel sleepy. Dizziness can happen. We can get headaches. Sometimes we feel a little foggy-headed. These are signs that we might not be getting enough water. So we want to make sure we're getting enough water.
Okay, so I have a question to ask you. What is like the daily recommendation so you don't get dehydrated?
Oh, that's a great question. We're going to say that for a man and a woman, we have some different requirements. So for a man's average requirement is going to be 10 8-ounce glasses a day. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. And for a female, you're gonna be looking about 8-ounce glasses a day. And that's gonna make sure that you're giving your body everything it needs, so you're replenishing because of all those amazing functions that it has to assist your body with.
So the women drink a little less than men, so is it according to your body weight or what?
It is according to your body weight, but it's also, we have different metabolic functions.
Okay.
So it's something you could look up more online, but just an average daily recommendation.
Okay, let me ask you something. Now, we covered this in class. I'd like for you to share it with the audience. What if you don't just like the taste of water?
Well, a lot of people you actually sat down the day we did the class on water, and I put down the jug. You said, I don't do water.
Right.
And I said, well, that's okay. We were going to add a little lemon to it. And by the time the class was over, I think you drank about 40 ounces of water in that session.
Okay, with the lemon.
Yeah, so we can add lemon. It tastes good. It also has some vitamin C in it. And then also, we can add cucumber slice, mint leaves, basil leaves. Sometimes people like apple cider vinegar. There's all different kind of ways to improve the taste. You just don't want to add sugar because it's contrary to the hydration process. Because sugar, when you put sugar in the water, you actually it dehydrates you back. And so the sugar, you still end up feeling thirsty and never refreshed or hydrated when you're done.
Man, that is so good. That's some good stuff because, I always tell you, and I tell other people, I say, well, come to the wellness class because it'll help you live longer. And I truly believe coming to your class will help me live longer. And I just truly
Well, we
believe
need you out there. You're a big part of Streetwise, and it's a Streetwise community, as you say.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. And then for all the vendors, you need to come to the health classes so you can know how to hydrate yourself during this hot summer.
All right. That was a great segment. I'm ready to go make some mint water or something. Stay hydrated in this heat. Well, we have about a minute and a half to talk about our current issue. Whoa. Taste of Chicago.
Taste of Chicago.
Classic festival. Streetwise likes to cover this every year. Yes. Within the magazine, you just covered this in current events. What do we talk about with the Taste of Chicago?
Well, the Taste of Chicago actually starts tomorrow and goes to Sunday. And, they have a variety of food that you can taste. And there's free admission, and what you have to do is buy some, if you want to eat, you have to buy some tickets, and
Don't
they
say
come.
how much they are.
Oh, okay, yeah, you have to buy your tickets, and then they have the small portions, and they have the large portions, so you can kind of budget out your tickets and sample everything if you take small portions when you
I
go.
heard there's a lot of new vendors this year, which is great. And, you know, there's food trucks, there's, that's new this year, there's pop-up restaurants, there's more about that and all the music that's available for free at the festival. You can pick up your latest issue of Streetwise.
Yes.
We're excited to come back next week and talk about the 50th anniversary of the Special Olympics.
Yes.
We have an issue coming up on street photography and a guide to the river walks. We have lots of stuff to talk about for the next few weeks. I want to thank you, sir, for sharing the seat and sharing your story. And for Sara for joining us today to keep us hydrated in this heat. I think that's a wrap for us. Live from CAN TV, Channel 21, this is Streetwise.